Slide your hips all the way back.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Now you know that that's critical in any chair, is to make sure their hips are all the way back, or else they'll get. So right now, when you design a treatment room, you design your treatment room 11 feet long, with a 2-foot rear support, and then when you design, you leave 18 to 24 inches here, correct? All right. Now, if you make a mistake, then it makes it more difficult for a doctor to get to 12 o'clock or to work. But the other thing is, you're making that decision of the 24 inches based on when the chair is all the way back, correct? All right. So, as you can see here, we don't have 24 inches.
Right, we're tight.
So what happens here is, first of all, this chair has 5 programmable positions plus an exit. What I'm going to do, I have a program with me unless somebody tampered with it, which has been happening. This is what I call the greeter position. In other words, the patient's going to come down low, so I can say, "Hi, Mr. Lopez, how are you? How's everything going?" Blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to go and work on the lower arch. Now the important thing that you have to notice is that none of us have moved. The relationship of the oral cavity to the support cabinetry, to you, to me, everything is exactly, we haven't moved at all. This is in a plane all the time, so now I'm going to work on the upper arch. And we haven't moved. Now, this has a 12-inch travel. So in essence, I can put this in a 10-foot room and it functions as an 11-foot room. Or I can put it in an 11.5-foot room and it functions as a 10.5-foot room because I have 10 inches that this chair will move and it's infinitely programmable. The other thing that's important about this chair is there's no support under the shoulders. Really important.
Access.
Not only access.
Do they roll?
It rolls the shoulders back, which makes the neck totally relaxed. The other thing is, a lot of people, you have an articulating headrest, so you're using it when you really don't need it. I only use the articulating headrest if I have a patient that has a woman with a dowager's hump, or a big football player that has big thick neck back here so their head is forward. That's the only time to use it. What we're attempting to do here is to keep the occlusal surface perpendicular. Now if I want to articulate, all I do is I put 2 fingers under the occipital here, rest it on here, and they stay right there. I don't even have to worry about it. The other thing is when we're positioned like this, I could open, can you see your view now? They can't see like that if you're not into this position. So what does that mean? It means I don't have to stand on my head, and you don't have to stand on your head for us to be able to work in any area of the mouth. The other thing that happens is, see how the tongue has sealed off the throat? That's because we're in this position. That means that I could actually spray across the back of the palate, and you could lock on a buckle over here to evacuate. I could be working out here and you'll create a vortex, a whirlpool of air, and actually the water will wash across the back. It won't swallow. Yeah. So now your HVE tip isn't hitting my handpiece, which allows me to have better access. The other thing is, we're all like little chipmunks. We have these pouches built into us. So when we go back into this position, where we have knees to nose as the goal, then you can, look at that. I'm not even in his mouth. Can you imagine what it would be like to retract with an instrument? And if we had instruments, doctors, when I work with a doctor and we go through this, I say, have you ever been able to see that much of the area? They say no, they've not. I actually had a CIRAC put in way in the back on the upper, and I had to stop my doctor and say, stop, you're killing me. She was retracting so hard. I said, drop me back further, get my occlusal, I positioned myself in the chair, and I said, now go in there. He goes, wow, this is amazing. He said, I'm always afraid to do this because patients complain. I said, the key is you got to do it really slow. Because unless a patient tells you that they sleep sitting up, you can get them, if they sleep laying down, you can get them to this position, but you have to do it gradually. And you can't bring them up quickly either because they'll get dizzy. So basically what's happening here is I can do anything because of this. Now you know the 8 Cascade chair had a convex back, which stiffens the neck muscles. It's the most uncomfortable chair. The other thing you want is a knee break so that it lowers the stress on the back and good lumbar support. This, oh, sorry. Son was a doctor.
Are you his son? So therefore you're Debbie's son too?
Yes.
Yes, nice to meet you. I've seen several pictures. I've trained Debbie on the computer. You I recognize from music.
This is the only chair made that does that.
Well, I understand the value of a traversing chair if you've got a room that's not 11 feet long.
But now do you understand the value of it from total ergonomics, that the oral cavity is always in the same plane? That is why doctors that have traversing chairs always want another traversing chair, because they've gotten used to that.
All right, so I guess what you're saying is that when you recline the patient, the regular chair, you're right, it's pivoting back and it's changing plane, right? Whereas in this one, as it reclines, it traverses back.
Now, if you program it, this chair will also start off forward and traverse back if you want it to, depending upon the procedure you want to do. But the relationship of everybody in the treatment room never changes, because it's the oral cavity we're working on, because it's dentistry, not podiatry, right?
Yeah. I don't know, I still have a hard time. Does the chair have an option for an articulated, double articulated headrest?
This isn't double. Lean forward, please.
Oh, I couldn't see. I thought it was fixed.
This is. I'm just saying, like if he had a Dowler's hump, then I would use the articulation. I'm just, that's my technique that I teach doctors, and of course it's one less thing for them to worry about. Now Rick Coppins was in here and he said, no, I prefer the articulation like this, and you were the patient, I believe. And he goes, isn't that more comfortable? He goes, no, it's less comfortable.